Yesterday morning, I walked by my old house, my childhood house. Um, it was like 6 in the morning, so it was dark out. It was quiet, and like as I walked up that street, there was nothing happening at all. It was completely quiet. Usually they gotta make some engine sounds or something, occasionally here and there. But like the street is a cul-de-sac, so it's like my house is here, and then you like go up, and then you go around, and then you come back. And it's like my house is like here, so like I walked all the way up the cul-de-sac, and then I walked around it, and then I walked back up the street. And when I walked by my house, my old house again, there was this car behind me. They like turned their headlights on, and then they turned them off when I walked by my house. And that was all that happened on that street. There was nothing else happening. Nothing happened the first time I walked by it. And then last night, there were these two cars out in the parking lot outside my apartment, and they were like honking at each other at me. They kept honking at each other. Like one honks and the other one honks. And they just kept doing it over and over for like a few minutes, and then they pulled out of the parking lot. My one neighbor's been talking sync all day. He's not doing it now, finally. He's been doing it like all day. My other neighbor's coughing sync occasionally. Just occasionally. That one plane that flew over, that I just recorded it and uploaded it a minute ago. He flew over like literally like a minute before that, like right before that he flew over, and then he came back and flew over again. They were shooting frequencies in my head yesterday, and it was like really intense. These people coming outside right now. They're getting in a red car as a white car drives out behind them. Or a silver car drives out behind them, I guess. And then they close the door as there's another red car going through the intersection behind them. And then they're leaving, and then nothing happened when they left. There was a bunch of cars, like, I think yesterday and today, there's, like, I look outside, and there's just, like, a bunch of cars in the parking lot, like side by side. So, like, one's here, and they're, like, driving the same direction, and then, like, two white cars or two red cars. I've been seeing a lot of that out my window today. Not right now, but like earlier today it was. They were doing that a bunch of times. And the other day, I walked up to this intersection, and this car pulled up and meets me at it, and he's going the wrong way on a one-way street. And I just point at the sign. I'm like, nothing happened right when I got up this morning. Then I walked into that room, and my refrigerator turns on, and my neighbor is like, so that was the first thing that happened this morning. You're laughing through the wall right now, and it sounds very synced. There's a bunch of people yelling outside too today and yesterday, I think, and probably every day. There's been a bunch of people yelling outside since. I don't know what they're saying. I can't hear what they say, but I just hear people yelling outside since. Oh yeah, and then yesterday I walked by this Tostitos truck, which the Tostitos trucks are always synchronized, but it was just sitting there though, and it was turned off, and there was nobody around it. But right when I walked by the back of it, at that exact moment, there was a semi truck driving in front of me. It was a Target semi truck. It was right when I walked by the back bumper of the Tostitos truck. There was a Target semi driving in front of me. I know I've seen Target semis before. I swear I have. I've seen that synced up before somewhere. I don't remember when. But I always see the FedEx semi synced up, and like the Pura semis, and like whatever else I see, I forget. I always see the Coca-Cola semi synced up. And pretty much any semi I see is synced up usually. Yeah, the cars in the parking lot honking last night. It was like another like jump scare thing. It was like really quiet right before that. There was nothing happening at all, and then just all of a sudden, synced up. I hear a car horn. I'm like, ah! I've been doing lots of spooky jump scares lately. I see the black and the silver, and there's a silver car driving by me. Black and silver on the street. I drove out when I walked up to the window. And then there's this girl walking up, and she's turning back around, and she looks in with the cars, and another silver truck coming in, and she's in a black car. And there's a siren synced up with them now. There's a siren starting. It's probably gonna drive by me synced. And this girl is a girl that's always synced. She's walking up synced. And she walked out to her car and then walked up, turned back around, and then walked to the car again and then walked back. She's like going to the building now. And this guy got out of the silver truck that parked synced when she went in the building. You can hear the sirens. It's a fire truck. He's syncing with another silver as the other guy gets back in his silver truck with the fire truck. There's a frequency in my ear now. I don't know if y'all can hear the fire truck. Oh, there's a cop now. The cop is synced with the black cars that are synced with each other. Yeah, the guy from the silver truck that came up and parked, he got out of his truck and then he walked back to his truck and like got something out of it or whatever and then walked back again. Like the other girl did right before him. He did that and then he did that as the fire truck drove out behind him, synced, and drove through the intersection synced. There with the fire truck. I don't remember if there's any other sirens today. It hasn't been a lot of them, but yesterday there was. There's a lot of sirens and train horns yesterday. And then he was like laying on the train horn, like I was saying. Like, usually they just honk it, you know? And then it's like, they're not just like laying on it. But this guy was yesterday. And he was like, So, I think I said all I need to say that I can remember what happened. So, I'm sure there's probably other things I forgot, but I hear tapping on the walls right now. My other neighbor's gonna start laughing and coughing synced again or whatever and talking synced. I just know it. There's been a bunch of people walking by in the hallway synced. As always, every day. What else? Like I said, it's always like I'm like yawning and sneezing, synced, and like my nose will itch, and like my head will itch at like synced moments. Like I'll just be scratching my nose, and then I'll be like, wait a minute, I'm driving through an intersection right now. Like I'm scratching my nose right as I drive through the intersection. But right as I walk up to the intersection, I'm putting my phone back in my pocket right when I walk up to the intersection. Things like this are always happening, all the time. Or I pull my phone out and it says 911 p.m. or 1234 or whatever. Things like this are happening all the time, all day, every day. Like the other day I said I had to sneeze, and then I was like, I'm gonna sneeze right when I drive by the sheriff that's sitting on the side of the street, right? And then I did. I sneezed right when I drove by the sheriff that's sitting on the side of the street. Like right as I drive through the intersection, I'll sneeze. Right as I drive by the Freemason building or whatever. All the time, all day, every day. So I guess I'm a sync head, but I'm not. I don't stalk people though, I think. I hope I don't. But I guess I'm a sink head on some level or another. But I know that the sink heads, though, they do it deliberately. I know that they do because I can see it in their eyes and their face. And they'll be like smirking right before they sink on me. They'll have this smirk on their face. And, sink, sink! So I'm not that type of sink head, at least. So. Who's in here? Don't sink. So anyway, I hear the engine sounds outside again, and we're gonna start doing that again, or whatever. And I saw this 2-car sink right now. So, yeah. Stay tuned for another episode of the Sink Show. And don't sink.